Let's go over a little trade recap that I had today. This one is a tough pill to swallow. It's really hard to talk about because there was so much opportunity today for me and it just kind of slapped me in the face. But I want to talk about it anyways because I feel like you'll be able to see the opportunity in options trading or stock trading, whether it's good or bad. So let's get right into it. And man, I am hurt right now. I am Jalen Hurts right now because this $400 level from yesterday, I want to talk about yesterday's price action. This is 400.23. This is the SPY, and you can see that it just got completely sold off. At this $400 level, there was a bunch of sellers just waiting there. As you can imagine, it's really kind of like a psychological number right at that whole number of 400 for people to start taking profit because we've been rallying like crazy lately. And that's kind of like a really great point for sellers to start short selling the market because, well, 400, it's really psychological and it's just kind of like psychology of the market. So we saw a massive rejection with a bunch of sellers here and it started to stable off a little bit, but fast forward into what happened into earlier today, we ended up gapping up pre-market. So let me just scroll over. You can see the after hours and the pre-market here. So I want to go over this right here. So we are at this $400 level. I'm looking at this right at pre-market. We had data come out this morning, so I was paying attention to that. It was PPI data, and the PPI data got up here and then it rejected right away. So that kind of just showed me that that $400 level is still really strong and a bunch of sellers are still sitting right at that mark, whether it's algos, whether it's a big trade block order, whatever it is. So I waited for the market to open and we were choppy. We were so choppy, which makes me think that there's so much indecision in the market whether we want to keep sending this up, which doesn't make much sense to me to keep sending this up after we rallying from 360. I believe we're up like 45, 40 bucks from that most recent low. And after we saw this 400 top, I've been talking about getting into puts for that reversal. And this candlestick right here is called a shooting star. If you don't know what a shooting star is, then it's basically just a sell signal. And if it's at the top of a trend like that, that is huge for me because my favorite candlestick is the shooting star or the hammer candle for the downside. But when a shooting star is a sell signal, it's at the top of this trend, it's at a psychological number of 400, and it's at the top of this Bollinger Band, say no more. That is all I need to know to confirm that there are a bunch of sellers in here, and it is a great opportunity to get in for the reversal. So buying puts, I buy 10 contracts right around this level when I see this start to form, and I'm like, I'm all in here. And about 10 minutes later, I took these contracts from 440 all the way up to 660, made 220 a piece, and I made 2,200 bucks, and I was done. And I was so happy about that. I was like, that was a 10-minute workday. I'm out by 9:45 or what was it, 10:20-ish, something around there. So great trading day. Thought it was amazing. Felt like a king, but then I was humbled. I came back to the computer about 30-40 minutes later just to check on the market as I normally do to see what was going on. And let's zoom out here. Absolutely slapped in the face because look at where I sold versus where the market ended up. And not only did those contracts go from 440 to 660 back down to 500, I thought that was a great sell point because they got crushed. You saw a little bounce here. I was like, oh, maybe this bull flags and they get that $400 and the bulls win and I'm out because it doesn't matter to me because I just made my 2,200 bucks in 10 minutes and I'm good for the day. That's a great chunk of change. But when you zoom out here, these $400 contracts, yeah, let's look at that together. $40,000 is what those 10 contracts would have been worth. They went from 400 a piece to 4,000 at the top. Obviously, I'm never going to sell at the very top or buy the very bottom, but that is painful. That is painful to see. Even over here, if it dropped, if I held for another 20, 30 minutes or just let 2, 3, 4, 5 of them run for free because I realized some gains on the other 5 and, locked in $1,000 and then just let the others ride for free. That would have been a great move on my part. Hindsight is 2020, but 4,000, these things went crazy. I could have sold them for 1,800 a pop and still made, $12,000. Like it didn't have to be the top to make over 10K today within a short amount of time. This happens all the time. There's always a big move that you miss. You were on the right side, you get stopped out, and then it runs for you. That's the art and the enemy of options trading. But this was a great trade. Even though I got in and I got out, we were due for a really big drop off, and I've been talking about it for so long. I'm actually positioned for mid-February puts, and those are doing really well right now, but they are definitely not making as much money as these shorter term day trading contracts that I like to trade. So this was the SPX for tomorrow expiration. I always buy tomorrow because I was day trading the same days, but the theta just gets to it like crazy. But this really hurts. When you can have $4,000 turn into 40,000, that's like a dream in the course of 3-4 hours. But hindsight, like I said, 2020 still made $2,000, so it's a good thing, but it's also one that kind of just smacks you in the face and hits you right in the gut. So options trading, so much opportunity. That's the trade recap for the day. Made 2,200 bucks. Can't be too upset about that, but damn, would that have been nice to make $40,000. I would have bought at least 2 new pairs of shoes. But that's all I got. This was the a trade. Hopefully one day I will catch one of these. I keep saying that all the time, that one of these days I'm just going to let all 10 of the contracts that I buy run freely, especially when I think that there's a great entry point. Today was one of those days and it just didn't execute, but we'll get her next time.